You ever watch someone get arrested in your own driveway and feel like the universe finally decided to play fair? Because that's exactly where I found myself. Not even kidding, watching Karen Jimenez decked out in her custom HOA board badge, screaming at two cops that she was the victim here, not me. Meanwhile, her husband Carl is practically begging Detective Morales to see that his wife isn't crazy, just passionate about property values. Yeah, passionate. That's one word for it. I'd use a few others, but I'm trying to keep this neighborly. Honestly, the irony wasn't lost on me. After 8 solid months of Karen trying to force me to tear down my completely legal modern house, the one I built outside her precious HOA's reach, she's the one in cuffs squawking about community standards while clutching her laminated HOA rulebook like it's the Constitution. And you know what? It felt good. Real good. Almost worth all the harassment. She even had her little badge on, which always cracked me up since nobody actually elected her to anything. Karen just anointed herself as the neighborhood enforcer, like some suburban dictator with a clipboard and an attitude. Let me back up a sec. See, this whole mess started when I bought a beautiful 2-acre lot on Maple Ridge Drive. I did my homework. I wasn't about to buy inside an HOA if I could help it. So I checked the county records, not once, not twice, but 3 times. My lot sat 50 feet outside the Willowbrook HOA boundaries. 50 feet of freedom, baby. That's all I wanted, to build something unique, not have some power-hungry board member telling me my mailbox was the wrong shade of beige. The house, yeah, it was different. Glass and steel, clean lines, a little Frank Lloyd Wright, a little take that. HOA, I worked with Philip Patel, the best architect in town, and we made sure everything was up to code, permits, inspections, every box checked. The county loved it. But Karen, not so much. First time I met her, she marched right across my property line like she was staking a flag on the moon, pressed Khaki's logo, polo clipboard clutched to her chest. She looked at me, then at my property markers and back again. "Excuse me," she said, didn't even ask. "I'm Karen Jimenez, president of the Willowbrook Architectural Review Committee. We need to discuss your building plans." I told her, "Ma'am, this isn't your HOA." She actually laughed like, "Oh, honey, you're so naive" kind of laugh. She waves off my county maps, says digital maps are often inaccurate and demands to see a real survey. Joke's on her. I had 3 plus the zoning confirmation title report, the whole binder. She flipped through them, still insisting my house didn't fit the neighborhood aesthetic colonial, this craftsman that. I said, "That's the point. I built outside your HOA so I could do what I want." She gave me that look, the one: property values, community standards, neighborhood character, the HOA holy trinity. After that, things got interesting. She started showing up daily, 8 a.m., sharp, taking pictures, writing on her clipboard, yelling questions at my contractor, Jeremy. She claimed she was verifying code compliance. One day she tried to measure the foundation herself. I told her, "You don't have any authority here." She just said, "I'm gathering information for my report." Soon, those reports started appearing in my mailbox, official-looking Willowbrook letterhead, accusing me of everything from nuisance to diminished enjoyment. She cited covenants that didn't apply, codes she didn't understand, and a whole bunch of stuff I'm pretty sure she just made up. But she didn't stop. The reports got longer, more detailed. She tracked delivery trucks, dust levels, noise, even what time my workers arrived. Then came the day I caught her on my roof. No joke. Saturday morning I pull up and there's Karen's white Lexus, but no Karen in sight. Then I hear footsteps. She's up there taking photos of my HVAC. "What the hell are you doing up there?" I shout. She actually looks down and says, "I'm documenting potential code violations. Your HVAC placement may violate noise ordinances." I told her to get off my roof or I'd call the police. She says she has every right to investigate threats to community welfare. That's when I realized she was way past annoying and squarely in criminal territory. I called the cops. Officer Amy Ortiz showed up, listened to Karen's speech about community standards and impact on property values, then shut her down. "Ma'am, do you live here?" "No." But is this in your HOA? Technically, no, but sir. Do you want this woman on your property? Absolutely not. Officer Ortiz told Karen if she came back, she'd be arrested for trespassing. Karen's face went 3 shades of purple. Officer Ortiz gave me the best advice ever: document everything. She'll escalate. And boy, did she. 3 days later, I get a county letter about anonymous code violations. Only the details are so specific, you know exactly who's behind it. The inspector found nothing wrong. Still, Karen kept filing complaints. Fire code, zoning, environmental runoff. None of it stuck, but every inspection slowed my project and cost me money. That's when I fought back. I filed a public records request, got copies of every complaint. She'd basically copied her weekly reports word for word. Next move, security cameras, professional grade, motion detection, cloud storage. 2 days after installing them, Karen shows up, this time with her husband Carl and another woman. They spent an hour taking pictures, measuring Carl looking embarrassed the whole time. The cameras caught it all, including Karen walking up to the lens and declaring, "This is a public safety inspection," not realizing it recorded audio. Then she sent me a cease and desist letter from something called Willowbrook Community Standards Enforcement, fake seal, fake legal citations, demanded I halt construction. I sent it to my attorney, Cheryl Sanders, who specializes in HOA fights. She laughed. "This is fraud. She's impersonating a government official." Cheryl told me to sit tight and let Karen dig herself deeper. She did each new letter more elaborate, citing real statutes, but with fake case numbers, even referencing a county ordinance that had been repealed years ago. When my house was finished, modern, beautiful, exactly as planned, Karen waited at the driveway, camera in hand, snapping photos as I moved in. She tried to hand me another fake document this time, claiming to be from a regional community standards appeals board. I told her, "Karen, this is fraud." She just said, "You really don't understand how communities work. It's not about what's legal, it's about what's right." That's when I knew she actually believed her own nonsense. The harassment amped up. She recruited neighbors to spy on me, tracking my comings and goings, visitors, deliveries, the height of my grass. The best they got was that my Amazon driver sometimes parked on the grass, which isn't even illegal. So Karen started making things up, said I was running a business out of my home. I work in software, unless you count the occasional pizza delivery. Not much traffic. Accused me of noise violations. House was finished. No construction. And even reported me for having an illegal pool, which was just a hose and some concrete tools being washed. Every time, inspectors found nothing. But Karen wasn't done. One day I got a motion alert, Karen at my front door, badge in hand, trying the handle, peering in windows. She even tried to jimmy the door with a credit card like a bad movie. She did the same at my back patio. Caught it all on camera. I called Officer Ortiz, who told me, "This is breaking and entering. If she tries this again, she's going to jail." The next morning, Karen left me her masterpiece, a fake court summons on Willowbrook letterhead, threatening to modify or remove my house if I didn't appear before her so-called tribunal. I forwarded it to Cheryl, who said, "That's extortion, impersonation, intimidation, time for real consequences." Cheryl filed complaints with the DA, sought a restraining order, and prepped a civil suit. But before any of that hit the courts, Karen made good on her threat. I'm at work, cameras light up. Karen, Carl, and 2 goons are in my backyard, power tools blazing, cutting down my fence. I called 911, raced home, and arrived to see Karen in cuffs. Carl beside her, Detective Morales, interviewing everyone. Karen babbled about removing illegal structures, but my survey proved otherwise. The police watched my footage, and Morales said, "This is criminal destruction, trespass, conspiracy." Karen spent the night in jail. At the bail hearing, Karen, now in an orange jumpsuit, had to listen as Judge Flores laid it out. No authority, no HOA jurisdiction, just a sustained campaign of harassment and vandalism. The HOA posted her bail figures, but Cheryl hit them with a civil suit too, naming the association as a defendant. Their insurance settled fast, $15,000 for damages. public apology, and Karen permanently barred from any HOA leadership. Karen decided to represent herself at the preliminary hearing. Pro tip: never do this. She waved her fake documents at the judge, ranted about community welfare, and dug herself deeper. Judge Flores found probable cause on all counts: destruction, trespass, impersonation, false reports, intimidation. Then the floodgates opened. Turns out Karen had been terrorizing the neighborhood for years, threatening a family for a blue front door, reporting a retired couple for a vegetable garden, hounding a single mom over her car. All these folks came forward with their own stories and documents. The DA stacked on new charges: fraud, extortion, a regular HOA crime spree. Her criminal trial was open and shut camera footage, fraudulent documents, neighbors' testimony, Karen insisting she had moral authority. The jury took less than 2 hours to convict. Judge Flores wasn't having it. 18 months in county jail, 3 years probation, $5,000 in fines, $40,000 restitution, and a permanent restraining order. Karen lost her house to pay the judgment, moved out of state, and now every Google search pulls up her mugshot and court records. But you know what the best part is? My house, the eyesore Karen said would ruin the neighborhood, ended up raising property values. A couple neighbors even thanked me for inspiring their own remodels. The Willowbrook HOA rewrote their rules: no more fake authority, no more power trips, just regular folks minding their own business. Sometimes, the system actually works. Sometimes the bully gets exactly what's coming. And sometimes building the house you want is the perfect revenge on someone who thinks a clipboard and a fake badge mean more than the law. So tell me, where do you stand? Does community mean bowing to busybodies like Karen, or standing up for your rights? Drop your thoughts down below. And if you've ever tangled with a wannabe neighborhood tyrant, share your story. Let's keep reminding folks, real authority doesn't come from a clipboard. It comes from knowing the law, standing your ground, and sometimes having the patience to let karma do its thing.